Welcome to the Calmer Self podcast. I'm Nadine. Join me to learn how to connect with the calmer version of yourself. I'll share with you my tips and coping strategies for reducing feelings of stress, overwhelm and guilt so that you can live a productive life with ease and joy. And there'll be inspiration from other wellbeing therapists, experts in relaxation and fellow calm crusaders. Well, hello everybody. Today I am delighted to be joined by the wonderful Alicia Ayala. I hope I pronounced that right. Now, Alicia is a transformational life coach, writer, speaker, and mum to 2 girls. She is the founder and president of Alicia Ayala LLC, where her mission is to empower ambitious female leaders to love their life and career because you deserve to have both. She does this through a 4-pillar framework to create more awareness, confidence and happiness by reconnecting to the power of your story so you can discover your alchemy, transforming your thoughts and life. That is so beautiful. So welcome. You are so welcome to talk to us on this Calmer Self podcast. It's lovely to speak to you.
Thank you so much, Nadine, for inviting me and welcoming me. And as I said before, like right before we started, I just feel so welcome and calm. You have a very calming presence. So thank you so much for having me.
Beautiful. You're in the right place. We're on the Calmer Self podcast. So let's spread the calm, shall we?
Love it.
So I've got to start off by asking you, it's a wonderful all that you do. And obviously I know a little bit about you because we met through the Cornelia Stephanie Media Group. So I'm very grateful for that's how I met you. But just for everybody else, obviously you're doing what you're doing. Can you share perhaps why you're doing it, how you came to it, what's passionate for you, how did you get to be doing what you're doing now?
Yes, that's a great question. So I was in the corporate construct for about 22 years. And I had, been working towards a various leadership roles. So I was this ambitious, high achieving female leader, continuing to grow. And I loved what I was doing. And I struggled to find balance. I struggled to love both parts of my life, of being this female leader and being a mom, and feeling in this place of being very stuck in overwhelm. And there were multiple times throughout my career where I was able to pull myself out of that through different strategies and techniques. And in my final role, I like to say right before I retired, in my final role, I was a senior director of technology, and I had started this Women in Technology group, and I started to just naturally coach women and mentor different women. And I found that was the part of my day and my week that gave me so much joy. And so I continued to climb the, corporate ladder, so to speak. And it came to this pinnacle point where we were really talking about me moving to this place of becoming a vice president. And it was just like, I suddenly saw the next 10 years of my life. And I realized in that moment, my dream had changed. I wanted to have more impact on women, and I wanted to do what I was doing in these sort of small pockets within my role, but I wanted to do that more intentionally and more impactfully. And I felt like, okay, I now know I don't want to do this, move to this next role. And I just decided to leap. And that is what got me into what I'm doing right now. And I was seeing women change. I was seeing this transformation happening by looking at their life differently, looking at their belief system, and just creating more awareness. It was so beautiful, and I wanted to help more women do the same thing.
Yeah, I really love that, and it is so important, isn't it? Like you say, it's easy if you like to. Well, maybe not easy for some people, but the way you describe it, you're going up the corporate ladder, you're doing what you're maybe supposed to be doing, you're following the rules, if you like. But sometimes there is, isn't there? Even if you are really successful, there's sometimes something inside you, isn't it? And it goes, I want to do it a different way, or maybe I want to do more. And like you say, you're seeing these women and you obviously have that desire to help more people. Maybe, I don't know if it's the right term, but maybe break free a little bit and maybe just have that empowerment and be, like you say, more fulfilled and happier.
Mm-hmm.
Is that sort of where you're coming from, just to give women more?
Yes, I think it's to give women more. I think, I think a couple of things, as I was growing in my corporate career, a couple of things I recognized. One, after I had kids, we had moved into this beautiful home. My career continued to grow. I had 2 kids. I was in the role that I had been working towards. It was all of a sudden, I should have been feeling really happy. And I found myself feeling guilty.
Yes.
And like an imposter, like, oh my gosh, should I be where I'm at? Like, and it was this really bad feeling. But the other thing is that I never felt present. So I was constantly feeling this disconnection from like my body and my life. And I'm like, it cannot feel this way. Like it should feel different, I think. And one of the things that I've come to realize is many of us women we're given a checklist. And once we reach that checklist, so like in my case, I had kids, I had the dog, I had the beautiful home, I had the career. Like it was almost like I had died because there was nothing left. Like what else was I working towards? And so I recognized, and actually taking some neuroscience courses, there's some science behind this, that if we don't have a vision of where we're going, we actually are not working towards anything. So I think part of it was me feeling a little mini death of, oh my gosh, I have nothing after this. And so it became really important for me. And it's one of the things that I implemented. And I think any of us can do this, which is know your personal vision, know where you're going, because your brain will help you to find opportunities to bring you there by you simply having that.
Yes, I couldn't agree more with that. I mean, I always say, one of my little sayings is focus on the wow, forget the hows, because you're absolutely right. If you've got a goal and you've got to focus, you will get there. Your brain will work it out. I like to believe the universe helps support our visions as well. There's more to it than just us, isn't there?
Yes.
But you're so right. And when you have that, and it was said to me once about contentment is not as wonderful as it seems. Once, like you just described, once you've ticked all the boxes and you've got there, sometimes you just go, oh, it's not as good as I thought it would be. And like you say, I think we need that striving for the next thing. Get the degree right, obviously not too much, but get that. And like you said earlier, balance. It's really a lot about balance, isn't it? And actually having something to work towards always, because that keeps us going, doesn't it? Do you find that with women that you work with? Sometimes they've lost their drive maybe, or their goals, because they think they've hit the point and don't know where to go next.
Yeah, I think there's one of 2 things that happen. It's either you hit all of your goals and you find yourself in this place of like, what next? But you're not asking yourself that. It's almost like you're just stuck. You're in this perpetual like Groundhog's Day where you don't even know that it's happening, that you've sort of met all of your life's goals and you're just stuck. And women can, I think I've talked to one woman who was sitting in that place for 5 years of just like not even realizing. And until we were working together, she was like, oh my goodness. Like she had stopped doing any hobbies, it was just like everything had sort of come to a halt and she didn't even realize it. And I think the other thing that can happen is that you also can, if you continue to grow, you can find yourself in a higher position and feeling this imposter syndrome and feeling like, oh my gosh, I got this role and I just have to keep working so hard because they might find out that I am not worth it and I'm not the right person. And so because we've worked so especially because I work with a lot of high achieving, ambitious sort of women, I think you feel this sort of, oh my gosh, I have to keep working so hard because I've always had to work hard. Even if everybody's telling you you're doing a great job, you're like, I must find more work.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like you say, you're working with high achieving women. They're used to, maybe give themselves a bit of a hard time, really focusing. And then, so you never, ever think that's going to stop. But then if you have reached, like you say, the corporate ladder and you've reached a point, then you do go, Oh, I don't know. And you're absolutely right. That feeling of like, oh, okay, so many people have said it to me. I keep my head down because someone's going to find out, that
Yes.
I'm not actually that good. That's so common, isn't it? So is that one of the things that people can, when people come and they want to work with you, what kind of things are they coming to you with? Is it that kind of, I feel like I'm a failure, I feel like I'm an imposter, I don't know what to do next? What sort of things are they coming to you and saying?
Yeah, I think it's two things. I think I see a lot of imposter syndrome, and a lot of times I don't know that women actually know that term.
No.
Some do. Some just come in, they're just like, like I actually met with somebody earlier today who said, I feel like I'm not worthy of my title. I feel like I've been working really, really hard, but I'm just not worthy of it. Or it's a lack of confidence in some way. And now this woman, she is strong. She has a team that loves her. She has a company and leaders that adore her. So it's nothing externally. These are all internal environmental things that are happening in her life. So and that's like one scenario. The other scenario is this feeling of like, I am so overwhelmed and stuck in my life. I have a good life, but I'm overwhelmed and stuck in it. And I don't know why I'm not happy with it. And what's wrong with me? Like those are sort of the two scenarios I think I see the most with this sort of high achieving female leader type person. And again, that was me. And so I was able to get myself out of that and create a lot of awareness for myself where I was like, oh, it's happening again. So I have a lot of tools and strategies that I help women that I provide.
Yes. Yeah.
And then it's one-on-one coaching that I offer. So we're really working, it's a very high touch personal experience where we're working one-on-one together. And, really it's been beautiful to see women coming in and feeling this way and coming to the other side and seeing what I see, which is they are so strong and so capable and like unstoppable as soon as they realize that they have that power within them.
Yeah, it is empowering, isn't it? And you must get so much joy from seeing that change in people because you're giving them that, aren't you? You're helping them find that for themselves. And it's so is your work mostly one-to-one, or do you do group work as well, or how do you work with people mostly?
Yeah, right now it is just one-on-one. And I am working to get an online self-service, self-paced course, and then also group coaching later this year, just so that I can help and impact more women. Also, I'm finding with a one-on-one, my schedule is getting really booked. So it's kind of that point, hitting that point where I want to make sure that I can get this in get this to as many women who are ready to make that change and see their life differently.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go, isn't it? There is only one of you. You can only do so much, can't you? And group, there's so many people I speak to, myself included, it's the mixture of the two, group work and individual. And there's power in a group, isn't there? There is, obviously what you give is invaluable, but sometimes when there's a group together, they support each other as well. And that's where some magic happens sometimes, isn't it? It's quite nice to have that. So it's nice that you'll be able to offer both of them for people. It's really important, isn't it? So as we've just touched on, there's only one of you. You're very, very busy and very popular and in demand. Can I ask you how you touch base with maybe bringing a bit of calm into your life? You say you're a mum of two as well, so busy juggling all those balls, like we say. So how do you find your moments of calm? How do you keep yourself in check in that way?
Yeah, I love that question, Nadine, because I think, becoming an entrepreneur, I thought, it was going to be less stressful than what I was doing before. And I realized it's just a different type of stress. And no matter what your role is, I think finding ways to have a calm. But I do think that it is a choice. I think that we all have this decision that we can make on continuing to be in the crazy. And I've done that. That doesn't work so well, but I have done that. So the ways that I do it personally, I love to have a morning routine. Brilliant. Where the first thing that I do is I get up before I look at my phone. listen to anything, do anything, is I have this morning routine, which includes gratitude, journaling, affirmations or incantations, visualization, meditation, and some sort of reading or like feeding my mind. So there's a lot of science, and I know you know this, but there's a lot of science that shows just a minimum of 12 minutes in the morning. Now, anybody who starts these types of routines, it can become addictive because you literally feel so good when you start doing it that you want to immediately be like, I want to do this for an hour. Not scalable, especially in the beginning, but 12 minutes scientifically has shown 12 minutes in the morning can literally change what I like to say, your day, your week, your month, your life, by just 12 minutes. And then after you do 30 days, you can add on to that. But I do that every morning. Now, there are certain days that I will miss, and I just have grace with myself. I also get movement in every single day. So I love working out. I will love lifting, biking, all of those things for me helps me to remain calm, positive, and, you know, in my present moment.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the key, I think, isn't it? Being in the moment, not being ahead, not being behind, you know, not in sorrow, regret, not in worrying, but actually being in the present. And you're absolutely right. Starting the day. And I loved what you said there, because I tell people all the time, before you look at your phone, look at you. That's what I always say. I always say, start your day with you. And it's so hard for people to do, isn't it? To not go straight to their phone or not. You've got children, you know, it's putting yourself, maybe, I'm not sure, but before your children even, you know, I mean, my little morning routine starts before I've even got out of bed. So it's totally focused on me. No one even knows what's going on. They don't need to know. It's all about me. And that's how you start. And you've said it a few times, and I'll repeat it again. Choice. You choose how you step into your day. You choose I always say what you want to do. You don't have to do everything, you know, you can choose. And when people hear that, they sometimes go, really, I've got this, I've got that. But actually giving yourself that moment, like you say, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 12 minutes scientifically proven. I always go 10 minutes, but there you go. That's fine. You don't need to take long. Just tune in, choose, and off you go. It's lovely. So whatever you incorporate, and I feel movement as well in whatever shape or form is powerful as well, isn't it? You know, getting the body moving, getting, you know, like you've said earlier, you know, you get stuck. Physically moving physically changes that, but emotionally it does too, doesn't it? It's so valuable. So thank you for sharing that with everyone, and I would recommend everyone, you know, 12 minutes, that's all it takes. Thank you for saying that, because that's what people need to hear. Definitely. So how can people find you? Obviously we've talked about the KS Media Group and the app that we are both part of, that I will put in the links in this when we put this out there for people to connect with. But how else can people find you? You've got a website we can look at. Are you on social media?
Yeah. So I am on social media. I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm on Instagram as It's Alicia Ayala. And sorry, there's some underscores in there. So it's _ Alicia _ Ayala. I also have a website, and all of those links are right on my website. So it might be best to go to the website first, which is aliciaayala.com.
Brilliant. That's simple, isn't it? That's nice. That's nice. And is there anything particular in the app? We've all got different offerings in the app. We've got different things. Is there anything in particular in the KS Media Group app that you would like to point people at? Is there anything that you've got in there that's special to you? Or
right now, the main thing that I'm offering, and I need to get my links in the KS Media app, but the main thing that I'm offering right now is my one-on-one service. And I also have a free guide to finding your magical morning. So if anybody is interested in that, that is currently not in the KS Media Group, but if you go to my website, it is there.
That's good.
And that is available to help you create your magical morning, which again is just, it creates so much more power in your day and in your life.
Yeah, beautiful. No, I love that. Magical morning. It just sounds so brilliant, doesn't it? You know, we all want one of those, don't we? So
yes,
that is so lovely. So I could talk to you forever, but we're limited on time, so you must come back at some point and update us on where you're at a future date. But for now, is there anything that you'd like to say? Obviously you've shared a lot of your wisdom with us already, but is there anything like you'd want to pick out of what we've said, or add something extra so that people can take away maybe a sentence or a phrase from you to use in their day-to-day life?
Yeah, I think if I could give one last bit of wisdom, it would be that your story is your power. Oftentimes we hide from our story, and your story is so much more than, and we can get stuck in our past. And I, for one, was stuck in my past, so I know this, but your past is one piece of your story. It is just one piece. Your life is made up of your past, which is actually wisdom if you choose to look at it and get the lessons from it. And then the other pieces are your present and your future, which is where you're going. So there's so much more than just your past. And I know so many people, we can get stuck in our belief systems, which are really tied to our past, but you are so much more than that. And that would be the last bit that I provide.
I love that. You're so much more. Yeah, because we all are, aren't we? We so much are. And obviously you help people find that and live that, which is beautiful. So for now, I'd like to thank you for everything that you've shared with us. I know people will want to go and look you up and find out more about you, so they can do that. But thank you so much for talking to us today. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you, Nadine.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Calmer Self podcast. Please rate and review. And if you want support, advice, accountability and inspiration to make the changes you need to manage your stress and live your life with ease and joy, check out the Calmer Self Facebook page. There's also more information on LinkedIn, Nadine Award-winning Changemaker. And please visit my website, www.calmerself.co.uk.